Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. I've got the Scorchio Quartet here, and we just wanted to talk about She Howls. This record came from a really personal hardship in my life when I was going through breast cancer, and I had a real hard time just trying to live with the fact that I might be facing my own mortality, and I began writing as a way to heal and to help me get through this really difficult time. And and hopefully, when you listen to this record, it's also something that can help you get through whatever hardships you're going through. And and yeah, and I was very lucky and honored to have the Scorchio Quartet uh, play on this album. And yeah, it just, I'm going to let Martha take it away and talk a little bit about Scorchio and how the project came to be. Oh,
Yeah,
and there's
here's
James.
James.
Hi, all.
Nice to see you, James. So,
But
wow, this has been such an an amazing experience. I mean, from the from going into the studio. Well, I'll backtrack a little bit. I'm Martha Mook, by the way. I play the viola. I am the founder of the director of Scorchio String Quartet, and uh, we play every year at the Tibet House benefit concerts, and we've played with a few people you might have heard of, like David Bowie and Laurie Anderson and Lou Reed. But I digress. But I met Carla. We were doing a BMI screen scoring stage
Film scoring, yeah.
scoring, um, and we just hit it off, um, and that was BC before COVID time. So what did we know was going to happen there? And we stayed in touch, and sometimes things are meant to be, and the process starts sort of gelling and percolating, but you don't know what's going to happen out of that. And now looking back, I can see that there was magic starting to happen there.
Yeah.
And but let's before I delve into, I tend to get very passionate about what I talk about. And we're getting some hits on thanks, Mr. Elephant.
Mr. Elephant.
Wave, wave, waves. Hope you're there. Nice to see people. Um, let's go around and have everybody introduce themselves, and hopefully Leah will get here in a few minutes. So Lorenza, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lorenza Ponce. I play violin one in the Scorchio Quartet, and I'm honored to do so. And I'm just thrilled that we got to play on Carla's incredible record, and that we're all here tonight, and with it, we're Grammy nominated. It's a thrill, and just kind of serendipitous. And I can't wait to see everybody in February.
Yay.
Good, you're on. I'm trying to get Leah's in, but all I'm seeing is a yellow background.
uh-oh.
Tell her to try to come in again. That's what happened to me. I just had to do it again.
Okay, good. We'll get this. It's all we're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe Frederica.
Okay, hi, I'm Federica Creer. I'm playing violin too. I'm the newest member to Scorchio Quartet. Started playing with them 2020, I think, right at the start of the pandemic. And it's been a really great time with everyone. And I'm super excited to also be part of this amazing album. Yeah.
Tonality is on the line.
Yes, tonality.
Woo! Tonality!
And Leah has joined us. Leah Koloff, our amazing cellist, and her cat.
I love that.
Yeah, Betty.
So tell, are we hearing you? Let's make sure we can hear you.
Can you
Yes,
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell us a
Hi,
little
Leah.
about yourself. And
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Leo, so
Oh,
yeah.
oh my God. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Leah's been in school all day. So
Sorry, I got the wrong day. I have been. I've been in school all day, and I've been doing Max.
uh,
Yeah, Max, the program Max. Yeah, I'm learning Max, node-based programming.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, I'm Leah, and I have been the longtime cellist of Scorchio. It's been a long, fantastic ride. We've done so many fun things over the years, and the most recent is playing on Carla's album. When was that? Was it June?
It was June, actually. I was
recorded?
just thinking about it. I thought it was April, and then I'm like, no, that was June. It was summer. Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
it
summer.
was summer.
I remember it was summer.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so that was a great day.
It's really beautiful.
just
it was
really,
magic in there, and we have some videos we're going to show because there's just being in the studio for those that maybe don't, are not as familiar. There's a certain chemistry that happens, right? And I'm going to introduce James Frazee, who is our engineer, and we were in his amazing studio. And James, maybe just introduce yourself and just talk about the studio a little bit and what happened there.
Yeah, sure. I'm James Frazee. I'm a producer and engineer, and I was thrilled that Martha and Carla called me to record the strings for So She Howls, and am of course thrilled about the Grammy nomination. And congratulations, Carla! Very well deserved. It's a beautiful, beautiful record. And yeah, no, the studio is Hobo Sound. It's in Weehawken, New Jersey, in the SST building, and we love it. It's me and Stuart Lerman and Tony Shanahan and David Mansfield, and we've been making records there for maybe 12 years now, which seems insane to say that we've actually been in that space for that long, but we have, and we love it. And yeah, totally magical to be in the studio. And I think some of that is that you four are a quartet who play together. You rehearse together, and you're used to playing with each other. And I've recorded a lot of string quartets, and it's a very, very different experience when you get four people who are used to being an ensemble versus four hired guns. It kind of doesn't matter how good they are if they're not used to playing together as an ensemble. There's a period, an amount of time that it takes for everybody to get used to each other, and that didn't have to happen with the four of you.
Well, when Carla called me and at first and was talking to me about this project, and she's like, I'm looking for a space that like a safe space, or a space that has good vibe, good energy, and and I just knew that was the place that. But little did I know how much of a vibe and how much of an energy was going to happen.
Oh, right on.
And
thank you.
And it was just a glorious, glorious day. And I think Carla, because the music is just so, I was listening to it before, and every time I listen to it, I get deeper and deeper in. And as I posted earlier, when we were recording, I remember getting chills listening and in the process. And it wasn't because I just had shaved off all my hair. But I was listening to it again, and it's like, I know the music, I've played the music, I've recorded it, but it's fresh every time. I don't know how that doesn't happen often. Um, and I think it's just because there's so much in it, and so much of you in there, and it's almost a rebirth in a way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, Carla, I feel like you just laid it all out.
I
You
did.
didn't hold anything back with this record.
It's really, yeah, it's been this like, little by little, like I've taken steps to get to where I am now. And I think that's like from healing from the illness I had and like from, just even being able to talk about it and express myself and be able to even say, oh, I had breast cancer and not have like all this anxiety over me. So it's like helped me on this personal level, this entire project. And so, it very much started from this place where the only way that I could really express myself was through music. And so it came down to the basics when I began it. And the howling, the So She Howls title actually came from me just being able, like, just howling basically. Like I didn't have lyrics. I just needed to get sounds out of my body, and so, and then, that magical day of coming into the studio with you guys, it was like the first time I sat down in a professional setting and explained to anybody that I had gone through this experience. And I just felt there was something you guys, each of you just really clicked in uh, with me. And I just felt this raw emotion coming out of each of you guys. And I think I'll forever remember that session. It was just so magical to hear someone else play the music, that I had written, and just with and so much raw emotion as well. So I mean, I can't thank you guys enough.
I have to say it was kind of amazing. Not just amazing. It was very meaningful, because we played. I think we played on most of all the tracks, but then some of us had some featured spots and solo. So I got to go in and sit in the control room. I think it was maybe while Lorenzo was playing, and just kind of watch you, and you were sitting there just so enthralled in the score. And it's a beautiful score, by the way. And you're a film composer, and it looks like a film score. And it sounds like a film score, but just to kind of watch you and then peek in and see what was going on in the live room. It was really a treat.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, should we maybe see a little bit of because you made a video of
Yeah.
some of what happened in the session, and then maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah, I think the video starts from me in the studio here, just kind of starting singing and getting some of those raw tracks, and then it goes into the session out in New York.
Okay, let's see if I can make this happen.
I love
that
that.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, Lorenza saved the day on that song because it was actually, I feel like on every album there's a song that I'm like, oh, I don't know about that song. I might cut it. I'm like, I'll go in the studio, let's see what happens. And and I was like, should I put flute here? Or what should I do with this song? I don't know. And I said, Lorenza, can you get lost in the forest?
Let
And
me
then
tell you
she
something, Carla. I was a perfect person to do that track for several reasons. First of all, I'm a tree person.
yeah.
So forest, trees, I'm there. But also, that track spoke to me. When I heard the demo of it, it just spoke to me. And, it wasn't hard for me to find the emotion to go with it because it's a track that to me related to kind of fear, to wandering, to wondering, and that's been my whole life. Life is about fear, traveling day to day through life, choosing the things that scare you because they're the good things. They're the things that are going to change your life, but you don't want to do it, but you have to go there. And so that's, walking through a forest is really, that track to me was me walking through my life, and so it just really spoke to me. And I just loved playing on that track. It was good for me too. I was able to just sort of put myself into it because it was truly how I feel about my life and that track. We just connected.
It was just so powerful, and there was a lot of time changes in that track too, and so I was like, what did I do? It's like, but I
And
wanted it to feel,
polyrhythms with the guitar, polyrhythms with
yeah,
the guitar, and that were like against the chime changes, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was, but you like got it in like a take, so it was just like, it was just amazing, and I was just like blown away from it from the beginning, and then we were talking about me being in the room with James, and something that really made me feel at home. I mean, James, you're such a sweet person and warm person. But then we soon discovered that you are from Longmeadow, right? Longmeadow,
Yeah,
Massachusetts,
that's right. Grew up in Western Mass.
which is like my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
And so I really feel like that also added, like, we were both mass holes.
yeah, that's right. Forever and ever.
And it was really cool. Like I think it was really great, working with you and having you also, besides doing all like the sounds and, making sure the mics and everything were sounding good, also just like picking up on, just all the subtleties that really helped me. So, uh,
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent. It was a pleasure.
yeah.
I just want to point out that James is not only a magical engineer and producer, but he built these sound,
Oh, you did?
It's
right?
true.
They're
Yeah, I
great.
built those for Martha. That's
Yeah.
right. I mean, I built all this stuff. It's yeah.
Very cool.
And I have a table. I bought a table.
Oh yeah. How's that table doing, Martha?
Oh, it's great. It's
It
perfect.
is.
Yeah.
Right up your alley.
Yeah. So, what else? Anybody?
I have a question for Carla,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was it that made you start writing? I mean, I know it was your illness, but what was it? What was the first thing you wrote? What was it that when you said, I have to put this down? And what was the catalyst besides your illness? But after that, you said, I have to get this out. So what was the first thing you did to start writing this record?
Well, yeah, like I think I just had all these emotions built up from like a couple months of like unknowns, right? And so I felt like I had all these raw emotions, and I don't really journal. My journaling is music. So that's what kind of started it, but yeah, like I think too, like I was like thinking about the fact that, oh, I'm never going to make another album. Like I already was like in this mindset of like, well, I don't know if I'm going to go on to do all these things that I've dreamt of doing, you know, and it kind of like became this thing of, well, this is going to be my last record if I finish it. And so it just then it kind of shifted as I was like, you know, all of a sudden given like a great diagnosis after I went through treatment. It started shifting like, you know, oh, this is like, this is how I can get my momentum back. Like I'm going to finish this album. Like, I just want to finish it, you know? And so it's just like, at the same time, I'm like doing like, you know, working out again and like doing all these things. So it became like a part of the whole process. Like I'm getting my voice back, you know? And you know, and that's it was very linked with that. And it's also just, you know, it shifted again when I got to the other side of it, you know. And on the album, that's around uh, Without Noise. And it's like it starts to shift there, and it's like, you know, I can get to the other side of this. And so I just kind of, you know, went with that momentum. And you know, the only like little thing at the end was like, you know, I wasn't sure if I could soar quite yet. But but like I was just trying to like, you know, that's why I finally added words to the last piece. I'm like, oh, I can sing again, you know? And so that's, you know, where that, and I think also I was able to go back and remember everything that happened and without the anxiety following me. And so it's just this, yeah, it is like a rebirth. I think you were saying that, James, too. So yeah, and I think, you know, albums like capture a moment, right? Or they capture these moments, and I think this is what this album does. It captures this this whole journey. Yeah.
Did you or were you tempted to circle back to compositions you wrote while in a particular place or state of mind? Like
I
from
was
a
tempted.
compositional point of view,
Yeah.
like did you go, I'd change that now, and did you or didn't you?
I was tempted because, well, I did do a different arrangement to the track So She Howls,
Mm-hmm.
the self-titled track. And you know, and there was something about it that you know, I did like a more orchestrated, a bigger, like full orchestra version of it. And I was like, there's something that, and then I just ended up stripping it away, which I find
Yeah.
myself doing all the time, just going mute, mute, mute. And I'm like, oh, there's the juice. There's the real
Yeah.
stuff there. And I was like, no, this needs to be much more intimate. And
Yeah.
so I really was like, this needs to be intimate, and then I started to like imagine it that way. Yeah.
Awesome.
What was the first track you wrote for this record?
So She Howls was.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That like it just poured out of me. And yeah, and I just, you know, those vocals I sang, I was tempted to recut those vocals, but I didn't. I left them. Those
So
were the
glad you didn't.
vocals.
So glad you
Yeah,
didn't.
those are the original, like as I'm, you know, going through them, and I'm like, you know, I want to embrace the flaws in this, you know, like I just want it to be true to the time. And so, and I think going in with that mindset of, you know, when I was a kid, I used to record my grandmother. She used to tell me to record her singing. And she always used to be, you know, it's Italian grandmother. She always used to be like, when I die someday, you're going to have this recording of me and I'm leaving it for you. And you can hear me sing these songs. And so I think that like was in my mind, like, yeah, like this is like me, like at this moment and what I'm going to leave behind.
Wow, that's deep.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like wondering now, like, as I go through, I'm like especially with film scoring, I start editing like crazy and I'm like, just really embracing the imperfections, now. Like that was a beautiful phone ring. Like, like let's embrace that.
No, that's wonderful. I think especially in the digital recording world, it's very, very tempting to make everything you know what I mean? Like really correct everything. And you can end up with something that is technically perfect, but incredibly boring.
Right.
And lifeless, and it doesn't have that certain thing that slight imperfections give to a recording.
There are some comments and questions. So let's see. Do Scorchio or Carla have any performances coming up? I'm going to tell you this. It's coming up in a few months, but you can catch us again at Carnegie Hall at the Tibet House benefit concert. I believe the date is February 26th. It's a Monday. So come and see us there. They haven't announced it yet, but I have a feeling we're going to be there. Let's just say. I don't know, Carla, do you have something else going on?
I actually don't perform much live these days. I just played at the Hotel Cafe this week, but I could see stuff. I'm getting into the groove of it again. So I'm hoping to come out to New York maybe and do a show out there, maybe in February or March.
Yes. What are you studying in school, Leah?
I'm in an interesting program. It's called PIMA, which is Performance and Integrated Media Arts. So at Brooklyn College. So it's a little bit. It's an MFA program, and it's multidisciplinary. So it's a group of there's actors and musicians and are there any there's some dancers, so it's all kinds of artists coming together and creating performance. Yeah, so it's a performance degree.
Very cool.
But it's multidisciplinary, which is kind of the direction I've been going. Yeah.
And you're also a singing cellist. You have a beautiful voice.
I am a singing cellist. Yeah. I haven't. It's funny because I haven't been doing a lot of that, which is very odd. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do. Is to sing.
Well, you got called when we played that concert with Trey Anastasio a number of years ago. You did both, right? You sang backup and played cello. I remember that was at Princeton University.
Yeah, that was really fun. There's some video of that. Yeah, which is great. Yeah, and I actually just decided that I'm going to do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in August. I have a show that is stories and songs playing and singing that I'm going to do
That's
there.
great. That's great,
Yeah.
Leah. Wow. Yeah. That's a very, very famous thing to go to.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I was like, you know what? I think the show would be good there, so I'm going to do it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do it in New York as well before I go, but so I'll let you all know.
Right on.
Yeah, probably March.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. Carla, so another question. Carla, I know you said you were howling, thus the title. However, do you feel any connection with wolves at all?
Love that. That's great. I mean, I think like, when I think of it as like this raw, like sound that's coming out of me, like, yeah, I mean, the howling, kind of shifts from like this really dark howling on the album and, transitions to like the vowels start to open up as we go through it, and once we get to remember, we're in the ah space, and then finally to the lyrical content. But yeah, I mean, just thinking of these raw sounds trying to come out of my body. Yeah.
Another question. Were there any moments during the recording process that were funny or uplifting as a group?
The whole thing. The whole thing was uplifting.
Yeah.
Well, we had the whole range of emotions, I think,
Yeah.
in this
We did.
session.
I do remember when we did Without Noise. Well, at least like in the room, because that one's really got a tricky part. Everybody's kind of playing opposite rhythms off each other, and I went in there, like I remember when it started, I'm like, man, I'm such a jerk. Why did I write like all these like rhythms like that were like, why did I do this? But then it like you guys like played it and you played it perfectly. And then at the end, I was just like, did we just get through that? I thought that was pretty fun to have that moment of like, wow, they just did it. All right. This monster of a creation I made. All right. Yeah. But there was a lot of energy. Like I felt like, there were a lot of highs and, and I just felt like there was these delicate moments that I feel you guys really tapped into. Like on We Remember, I felt like that was just this really, the thing that I was like so blown away by is like a song like We Remember. It's a very simple part, right? And it's just a lot of whole notes but the emotion that you put behind that with a minimal notes was pretty amazing and really moved me in the session. So I love that, and I think as a composer, like when I think about a lot of times in film scores too, where I don't have a lot of notes and just being able to have that motion come through and feeling come through with a minimal thing going on is pretty magical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, I think the reason that works because we are a quartet and we've played together so much and we like each other and we've had dinner together, we've partied together, we've learned music together, we've panicked together, and we've been tired together. So I think that when we got in that room with all this incredible music, I mean, we all love each other. So we were just like friends playing this music, and of course we're going to feel something because it's not like, who is this person next to me? I have no idea who this person is. And they're not really playing exactly in tune with me and they need to lower themselves a little. You know what I mean? We know each other. So we just, I think that's why we were able to interpret this music as well as we were and really feel something because we like each other and we're used to playing together.
And we listen.
Oh, yes. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the most important thing about making music is the listening part.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can make all the sounds you want, but it's not communicating until you have that two-way pipeline going on. And I think that we've really, made that a priority in listening, not just what we're playing, but listening to what the people around us we're playing as an ensemble, as a group, as what we're hearing in the headphones and how we fit in. It's really much more multidimensional, I think, than people get when, you think that music is those little black notes on the page, especially those of us that have been taught, in traditional Western, Mozart, Beethoven. They're all great, but there's so much more to it than that. It's bringing those little black notes to life, and sometimes the little notes are not there at all, and that's where the magic is. So another question, is everyone going to the Grammys in February? We are planning.
Yeah. I don't know, James, if you're
I'm
you're there.
not. My suit's still at the dry cleaners, so I don't have anything to wear.
Yeah.
No,
Buy a
no,
new
I'm
one.
not. I won't be going. I've the family stuff is, you got 3
Yeah,
kids. You can't hard to leave for that long.
it is. Yeah.
Well, you will be with us because you.
Yeah. Well, and very exciting. I'll be crossing my fingers.
Yeah. We will have to Zoom you in or something, or
Yeah.
my
Right
my
on.
family does that at Thanksgiving, or if I can't make a holiday, they take their iPad out and put me at the table. So maybe we'll do that with you.
Yeah. Love it. Please.
I want to point out also that we're performers and composers, and oftentimes um, the folks behind on the other side of the board don't get the acknowledgement. And really, this record doesn't do what it's doing if it didn't sound good,
Yes.
and if it had the attention to the quality of sound and each of us as individuals and what it takes to put us together as an ensemble. So, Maestro James, we owe you a deep thank you for
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
True.
making
It's
us sound
true.
good.
If
Well,
you
and
didn't have
it's
the lights just where they need to be, you wouldn't have been able to hear those strings and all that emotion coming out if you didn't put those mics in the right place. I mean, that is for
yeah, I'm tempted to kind of put it. I feel the same about y'all and really music in general. I've recorded a lot of music in studios, and in particular in that room. And the thing that I realize over and over again is that microphones don't matter. It really, really is. It's about the musicians, and really the musicians. I mean, you can, you put a mediocre musician on an amazing instrument in front of an amazing microphone, and it's still not going to sound great. Um, you, you flip that around and put an amazing musician on a mediocre instrument on a bad microphone, and it's going to convey that emotion that everybody was talking about. But yeah, thank you. I think it came out great. I'm really happy with it. But I always feel like a genius when I'm recording great musicians, and I always feel like a hack when I'm not. So I've, over a couple decades, I've realized that it's, you know, um, it's about caring, and it's about attention to detail and being present in the moment, and seeing what the session needs, and all of that. But it's about you guys.
Yeah. Well, mutual admiration society.
Yeah, that's right.
I think everybody's got such busy schedules. It's end of year, it's end of semester. Some of us are professors, and some of us are students, and some of us are. I mean, it's the holiday season. It's our busy time. So I want to be mindful of that. Um, but I think we'd love to do this again at another time. Now that I've sort of figured out how to put things in the right place, and um, I think that would be a lot of fun. And meanwhile, I think, Carla, how can people actually listen? Because some of the folks have already listened to the album, but how can they just listen and know what we're talking about?
I mean, I definitely, and not to sound like snobby about it, but I do think like give yourself the 35 minutes to get through the album from start to finish, because I think that's the way that you need to really process it. And I've always, like, I love listening to certain music at night, and I think this fits into that place because it can really bring you down or like wind you down into a calm place, I think. And or if you're going through something stressful and you've got like 30 minutes to just breathe, I think it'll help you do that. Of course, it's on all platforms, but if you go to Apple or Tidal, it is mixed in Dolby Atmos there, so you can experience it that way. And then also, I actually made some vinyl, so there are some vinyl versions too, if you want another layer of static sound added to it. Which actually I think works with this album. I was like, this would be a good album to have for vinyl. So, but anyways, yeah, I think, finding that 35 minutes to listen to it is probably the best way. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it when I need to just be focused.
Yeah.
I call it up. Anyway, I mean, this is just such a blast. I'd love to do this every night. So,
Yeah.
but let's figure out when we can play together and play it live, because
Yeah.
I think that would really be something special. But I don't know, any closing thoughts for this evening, or thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody
Yeah,
for
thanks for
that's
putting
been
this
watching.
together.
Miss you
Yeah.
guys. Want to see you
Thank-
guys.
Miss you guys too. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in February.
Yeah.
And my gosh, thanks to all the people who have been like so supportive. That like to me has really been mind blowing. So even I know everyone's busy and they've made it tonight. Everyone who could come out tonight and give us their last bit of energy left of the day. Thank you. Yeah. And let's do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Everybody stay well, stay healthy, have a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just send out the love to everybody, the love and the light, and that's what it's about. So thank you so much, Carla, for bringing us all together.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank
Carla.
you, Carla.
And
Thank you.
and it's just such a dream to be on this ride together. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Thanks everybody. If anybody has
All right.
any questions or anything, just leave us some comments and we'll get back to you. And it's a joy. Thanks. Love you.
Bye.